Hello viewers, we are talking on Life Skills for Graduates Swayam course on MOOCs. This is module 2, Self-Awareness, and lecture 3, which talks of need of self-awareness. In this lecture, we will be talking about the personal development of self-awareness, academic development, skill development, time management, goal setting, and stress management, which is required for personal development or self-awareness. As we know, self-awareness is essential skills for graduate students or an individual shaping their ability to manage academic challenges, build constructive relationships, and pursue personal growth. In the demanding environment of today's world, self-awareness enhances a student's capacity to recognize personal strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. This skill underpins many aspects of academic life, including time management, goal setting, stress management, and thereby contributing to both academic success and personal fulfillment. When we can talk of self-awareness, as we had said that we had talked in terms of personality, we had talked in terms of habits, we have talked in terms of values, we had talked in terms of needs, then we also talk of self-awareness in aspect of developing personal development, emotional development, academic development, and various aspects of development. So while we talk of self-awareness, we say that we need self-awareness for various aspects of development which are required for a holistic development or stress-free development of an individual. This holistic aspect of an individual development can contribute to his balanced outlook, can contribute to his well-adjusted adaptability in the society. One by one, we will see how self-awareness helps us in the various aspects of development. First of all, when we talk of self-awareness, we talk in terms of personal development. Now, personal development actually means identifying strengths and weaknesses, that is, to recognize what you are good at and where you can improve. That is very important, till where you can reach. Certain people have certain basic innate abilities by which they are able to do certain things naturally, but to do other things they may require to take more effort or more. Certain athletic people, when we were looking at the personality types, we said there are certain people who have an athletic build, so they can easily go into the athletic activities without much of effort, so they are natural into it. Certain people, we had seen that they are naturally a artist or a drama person, so that person can go directly or naturally into that field, but has to adapt to other situations when they come. So when we know our strengths and weaknesses, we are able to personally develop well. It helps us to take informed decision because it helps us to align your actions with our goals. That is why self-awareness is very important, because then we can match what we can do and how we can do, what is the way we can proceed, and that will conform with the abilities we have. It enhances developing a growth mindset because it will help us to embrace challenges and view setbacks as opportunities for learning. Earlier also, when we had said that we have different types of person, we had said that our extrovert person takes a setback as a challenge and moves ahead, while an introvert person may take that setback as a stress because he likes to work in isolation and therefore is not able to move ahead and is in a more stressful situation. Therefore, knowing about yourself is very important for developing a growth mindset. It increases confidence. If you're aware of your strength, weaknesses, your personality type, then you are more confident in doing the things which are as per your choice or liking. It helps us to find purpose, discover what we can do, what is meaningful for us, and thereby making us more productive in the area where we are. In the end, it also improves our ethical behavior, because when we have habits, when we have our needs which are as per our values, we avoid things like lying, cheating, or stealing. They do not conform with our values which have been inculcated in our personality type, and therefore we will demonstrate the behavior which conforms to our individual personality, what we have grown to believe in, and it helps us to perform accordingly in the social context. That is why certain people are given examples as a moral code of conduct to others, because they have always practiced high values, maybe in terms of work, maybe in terms of society, maybe in terms of personal development. When we are talking of work ethics, we very much give examples of Mr. Ratan Tata, whom we said he worked on certain principles in his situations or in Tata Sons, which had to be followed irrespective of the person or the individual who is there. So that is how we have example of persons who have certain high ethical code of conduct. Then we have other aspect of development where self awareness helps in, that is the academic development. Academic development, therefore, is refers to how we make our way of studying smarter. That is, many times we have seen that certain students are there who are slogging for hours and hours, but the outcome is very limited, while there are certain students who are able to utilize even short amount of time and make a very successful or very efficient output. So that is how, when you are studying smarter, it sees that you do things according to your merit, according to the situations you have. You can customize your goals and select the best strategies which are there for achieving your goals, your learning mechanisms, your study situations, your material identification. All this can be done if you do a smart work in your study situation. They are able to manage emotions. Students or learners who are able to manage their emotions effectively, they are able to have better sort of academic development, because they might sit back and reflect to what the stressful situation is. Many times it happens in your academic pursuits that you have to do a certain work, you have to present certain thing in a specified time, and what happens, because you are not able to do justice to it, you are either stressed, you have emotional bursts, you have sad feelings. Now that has to be managed in that terms. It helps in developing resilience and adaptability. As resilience and adaptability, we mean that in challenging situation, we should be able to do the best with our abilities and situations, and if required, we must change ourselves with the situation which emerges new. So this can help them when we new obstacles comes. If we are able to adapt ourselves, then we will be able to check the new obstacle with a more efficient mechanism, and thereby developing resilience in ourselves. Self-awareness also helps us to improve our skills, because if we know where we are lacking, then we make a conscious effort on that area, and thereby increasing our that domain of skills. Many times, like today, we are seeing importance of digital literacy, and if we feel that somehow practicing digital literacy or knowing more about digital literacy can help us to be more efficient, then we should practice this and improve our skill. Then, as we'll be seeing in the next few lectures, that interpersonal communication can be developed, because if we know that to be effectively dealing in the life situation today, we need if interpersonal communication, that skill can be developed if we feel we are lacking in it. So self-awareness helps us to identify the area of lack in our capabilities, and we can practice it and develop that skill. It also helps us to make better decisions, because being aware about different situations, being aware about different aspects makes us in a better situation to take decisions, more informed decisions. And also, since we will be taking more informed decisions, we will be ready to face the consequences of our action, because the decisions which have been taken with a thoughtful and a responsible judgment which we have made. So that is how self-awareness helps us in making informed, better decisions. And also, these decisions will be in conformity with our own basic strength and weaknesses, because that is very important. What makes me happy and what makes me sad, and what makes me efficient, what makes me stressed, should be identified by a person. How self-awareness contributes to skill development? A small example we have already seen. We had seen that self-awareness can help us to identify the requisite skills which are required in the times of today. And when we understand ourselves better, we can identify our own strengths and weaknesses, set goals accordingly, align them with our values, and adapt to the situations as needed. It helps us to take improved decision making, because we will be having informed decisions, and these informed decisions are based on all pros and cons situation, and therefore our skills will be developed as per requirement. As I already said, if we need computer literacy today, we should practice that. Certain basic skills like swimming, driving, cooking are there for each and every individual, and these skills should be learnt by each and every individual, irrespective of place, context or age, because they help an individual to survive in this world with basic requirement. So these are the most adaptable skills which are there, and an individual must know and learn them whenever given the opportunity is there. It brings stronger relationship, because when we understand how others perceive ourselves or how others perceive oneself, then we can take decisions accordingly, act in the situation accordingly. That will lead to development of interpersonal skills, and it will also make us a better individual, and therefore it will make us having a growth mindset in a situation. So developing strong relations will in turn develop a growth mindset, which will be based on feedback and experiences from others, and this can be continuously improved as the situations arise, or those people who are ready to take feedback positively improve themselves in all situations. Lifelong learning, as we have seen in the last module, we will see that lifelong learning is very important for anything, for our knowledge, our information, for skills, and that is important, that we have to go on taking better decisions for ourselves. In this way, we will become a better leader for others. When we have strong conviction to lead our team well, we will be giving positive relationship with others that will enhance positive culture, and we will set up a good example for others to follow, and thereby making oneself a good leader. Generally, when we see of leadership skills, we see a person has to lead from behind and from front both, showing empathy, showing consideration, having a good communication with the team. So that is very important if you have to build leadership skill. And it is important, while you are developing any sort of skill abilities, remove yourself from any biases or assumptions. Never think that I cannot do it or the other cannot do it. Skills are regular practice. Skills are behavior that require regular practice, a set of desired behavior, and these set of desired behavior can be acquired if we take systematic steps to follow them and acquire them. So never think that nothing is impossible, as we have the example of Nelson, the famous warrior, that he believed that impossible is a word that does not exist in his dictionary, and that is what we should feel for ourselves while developing our abilities. Know what is the ability which we do not have, consciously make effort to develop it, and in this way you will be more skilled in the contextual or the contemporary world which is there. Another important aspect which self awareness requires is time management. Time management is what is the key component of managing time because it helps us to understand our strength, weaknesses, and limitation in a given context. See, as we have always been referring to that, if we have to be efficient, if we have to be adaptable, then we have to see the time which is given to us. Any action which takes after the situation has occurred is useless. So, at spur of that moment, the timely decision taken actually contributes to the self-worth of an individual and the decision-making ability of an individual. Therefore, for having proper time management, we should set realistic priorities that we must give ourselves. If we feel a situation will require 10 days, then we should put 1 day in contingency and give ourselves 11 days. So, give ourselves the realistic time frame which is there, set realistic priorities that is there. If you see that I will be able to conquer moon or sun, that is not possible in the situations which are there. So, don't think of those priorities which are beyond your boundaries, which are beyond your strengths. Only set those boundaries in time which conform to your strength, which conform to your abilities. And of course, you can set a time frame where you can acquire certain new skills, but then make that time frame a realistic one. Allocate time efficiently. We can see everyone is a different sort of a person. Certain persons are morning persons who are able to work more efficiently in the morning. Certain persons are night persons who are able to work more efficiently in night. So see which time is efficient according to you, and then set your time frame, and then you effectively utilize that time. Take appropriate decisions, because a lot of time is wasted when decisions are not taken properly. So we should again see what is the objective, how it can be achieved, and what is the realistic possibility in the time which it can be achieved, and what decision has to be taken immediately and what decision can be postponed. That is also important while you are making informed and right decision. When you are able to do this, your productivity will automatically improve because you are utilizing the time efficiently, you are setting your goals realistically, and you are also keeping your strengths and weaknesses in mind. So, when your productivity increases, automatically your self-worth increases, your self-esteem increases, thereby resulting in realizing your self-awareness, and you feel more happy about it. So that is how then how self-awareness helps us in goal setting. As we have already discussed, that important for goal setting because it helps us to understand ourselves, our motivation and our value. This can help us to set realistic goals and achieve them more effectively. Then while you are setting goals, you should see that your goals are realistic, your goals are aligned to the purpose you have. It is aligned to your values, it is aligned to your job requirement, is it aligned to your aspirations. Then only you can achieve those goals more effectively. Prepare for the challenges which are there. Many times we have analyzed the situations which can come while you are trying to achieve those goals, and don't be demotivated by certain situations which may not be very conducive or which may not get the result which you wanted. Always take that in a stride, because things have to be balanced. Certain times the goal which you have set may not be a goal which is a short term goal. It may give result in a long term. So wait for that and then try to analyze the situation. So be ready for challenges, because that is very important for your self awareness. Certain times if you fail, then yourself feels demotivated, and that brings a dent to your self esteem, which in turns affects your self awareness. Monitor your progress. You should keep on monitoring your progress, how you are doing, what time frame you had took, how much effective it was. A continuous feedback is required for that way. So that is very important. You should see the outcomes, you should identify the obstacles, you should see how they can be overcome. That one. Last but not the least, while you are setting the goals, see that you are able to learn from your experience, because your experiences are the actual things which give you success and failure. And if you are successful, then take it as a reward and move forward. If you have a failure, then see that it is a stepping stone to another learning exercise which you have to do. We have example of Thomas Alva Edison, who failed for nth time before he made the bulb. And the example is that today we have large number of inventions towards name of Edison, because he was every time trying. Each failure was a stepping stone for the problem which was faced, and it gave him motivation to work even further. Example can be there that a student might set a goal to finish reading assignments before the weekend, so that he can put some time for other hobbies, but the productivity hour can help him to do the task schedule in the time. If the student know that if I can focus better in the morning, then he should do his study thing or the study task in the morning, and then do the other tasks like hobbies or games in the evening. That way he will be using his daytime efficiently, and it will reduce last minute stress which he may face if he has not completed his assignment in time, or if he is not properly able to follow the hobby he has. Self-awareness in stress management. Self-awareness is important for stress management, because it helps us to recognize what can cause us stress and how we have to respond to that stress. First of all, it is important to identify the triggers of our stress. Many people may be triggered by a simple task. If somebody has put a glass of water in front of them and they don't require it, it might just cause them stress, because they might feel this water will spill and then it will spoil the table for them, and then it will create a lot of problems. So that might cause us stress. So identify the stressors, which can be a very minute things. It can be a blinking light, it can be sound of something, it can be there which might cause it. So identify the stressors and try to avoid it. That is very important. So when you identify the stressors, then you have to see what coping strategies can be developed from them. That is, if you have certain tasks you have to complete with a group of team in a particular short time, then you can easily delegate the task and see that the time is managed properly, and so that nobody has any stress at the last moment. Then we must also recognize the emotional responses. Self-awareness can help us to recognize the emotional responses which can be caused due to our stress. It can be angry outbursts, it can be sorrowful tears, anything can be there. That has to be identified. Also, it helps us to examine the patterns how we do things. So many times we have certain patterns. Like I said, we can have certain stressors, we can have certain time frame during the day. So identify if there is any pattern of stress and gradually remove it. Gradually removing it will automatically develop your self-awareness. When you have that self-awareness, this can be something which is causing me stress, then we can remove it, and it will make you more adaptable, and it will in turn required for developing your self-awareness. Reflect regularly. That is very important. If you're talking of self-awareness, you have to sit quietly and think how we can do things, what is required, when it is required, what are our values, what are our ideas which make us happy, which make us sad, which make us feeling rewarded. That is important. Listen to our body. That is another thing which is required. Many times we take extreme steps without listening to your body. Remember, your body is something which you have to be till last state of your breath. So taking care of your body is very important. Never do things where your body says no. So, and that you have to see, because every individual, every body type has different sort of limitations and advantages. Certain people may be able to take certain emotional stress very effectively. Certain people may be able to take certain physical stress very effectively. That you have to identify. Listen to your body, give it rest, take care of it, enjoy leisurely time, enjoy giving your body, pampering your body with different sort of products, with different sort of things. That is actually required in today's life. So pamper your body with whatever you can. It is something which you will live with all your life. Practice mindfulness. As we have said, meditation, mindfulness is very important. Go to sleep at required time. We avoid sleep. At least 6 to 8 hours sleep is a must for a sound mental development, and that we should follow. So go to sleep at the right times. Have a nice place where you can go to sleep. Avoid a sound, avoid lights, avoid, have a good aroma in the room where you sleep, whatever makes you comfortable. And then there are particular time zones also when your sleep is the best. So stick to that. Nothing is more important than a good sleep for an individual to have a peaceful, happy day. Last but not the least, exercise. It is very important every day to keep your body healthy. Exercise, because that is how your body is happy, then your self-awareness becomes more. You are able to cope up with different things in life better way. So small amount of exercise is very important. It can be half an hour walk, it can be half an hour yoga, it can be half an hour jogging, whatever it is, whatever suits you in a good conducive environment. So whenever you are feeling stressed, in these cases, manage this stress by listening to music, going out for a walk, pampering yourself with maybe a massage or something. That is how you have to reduce stress and be more happy with yourself. Also, self-awareness is required if we have to have good interpersonal relationships and collaboration. Interpersonal relationship, because if we understand ourselves well, then we are able to interact with others in a very good way. We are able to relate to them in an effective way. So that is helpful. We have to be empathetic, keep ourselves in other situation. If we have to have good interpersonal relationship, we should manage our emotions well. That emotional stability is required to have interpersonal relationship. Break down the barriers which may be created. It can be psychological, it can be physical. Just break them down and go out, reach out to others. That is the way to have relationships better. A simple handshake makes you feel so much more happy. A simple visit to a friend makes you so much more content, and also it develops an affinity, feeling of commitment in both of us that is required. So interpersonal relationship is very important. Manage your emotions, break down the barriers, communicate effectively, and reflect. Very important part, what you have interacted with others, how you have interacted. Can your behavior be better in that situation? It is very important to reflect while you are dealing with people, while you are interacting with people. Certain people are liked by everyone because they know how to manage their interpersonal relationship. Certain people, even if they are very honest and truthful, are not liked because they do not know how to manage their interpersonal relationship. So that is very important. You can have an example that a lab group where members of research were dealing together in a lab. A self-aware student is one who prefers structured planning for many steps in the experiment and is more flexible with the peers. He knows if other person requires an instrument for some time, he is ready to share and give it. They recognize their preferences, they are able to adapt, they are able to share, they are able to work with others, and they are able to also contribute to others' work if somebody is in need. So that is how you have to have interpersonal relationship with your peer groups or your lab which are required. And ethical development is very important. Like we said, values are an important aspect of self-development. So ethics is the cornerstone of self-awareness. It helps a person to uphold to integrity. A self-aware individual understands the importance of honesty, of punctuality, of being truthful. For instance, a student might recognize temptation to cut corners due to a certain deadline by copying from others, but then it is important that he should know that it is unethical. It will be covered in plagiarism, and you should avoid such unethical practices. Or if he is copying from someone, sharing from someone, they should give due recognition to the words by their ethical consciousness extends to all spheres of our individual life, from his academic work to his interaction with peers to collaborating in the work situation. It is everywhere. So that ethical aspect should be kept in mind, and ethical consideration helps us to make better decisions because we stick to our right code of conduct and follow the things which can be done. They have their impact, but they are always, they may not be there for short-term goals, but their impact are always long-term, more productive if you follow the ethical practices. Also, when you are talking of ethical development or you are talking of ethics and values, personal and individual goals should be kept aside. You should work together for a group, and if your personal goals are at front, then you should have your ethics accordingly. See, we had also said that personal development is very important. So if you are having certain personal choices and it makes you happy, then follow the ethical code which is there for the personal choices. Give a positive feedback, which is very important for others. So that is how we have to consider ourselves for this sort of awareness of self-development or self-awareness. We have to look into the skill aspect, we have to look into the time management aspect, we have to look into the ethical aspect, and all these aspects will professionally enhance the individual's abilities. And when these abilities will be enhanced, automatically a feeling of contentment and happiness will come in an individual. Therefore, self-awareness helps an individual to know the boundaries, to know the extensions to which boundaries he can have, and it also helps us to know which situation will give us happiness, because contentment and happiness are actually the last stage of actualization which are required for a person in his life. If we are able to inculcate that in our daily life, then we will be able to know how self-aware we are. And as we have already seen, that is why we required self-awareness, and that is why we require to inculcate in it in our daily or everyday life behavior. Knowing about oneself is very important, because then only we can proceed or contribute to the world in the right way. Thank you so much.